Oh, are you doing an intro or mine? You can just keep it going. Okay, hello. My sister's behind the camera, and she is very disappointed in our YouTube channel and says we need to post more. So I'm over at her house today because we're in Texas for the holidays, and she said, why don't I interview you? And I said, okay.
To the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah. And it's a good, I won't even worry anymore. Took all my cares, still can kick them all out the door. Go on and try, come and tell me what you're waiting for. Move and keep them going till your life is overflowing, yeah.
Okay, I don't like being on the camera, but, and my husband says I talk too quiet, so I'm going to try to talk in a loud voice.
People love to see your beautiful face.
I don't have much makeup on.
So we got a few questions, and we did just jog 4 miles earlier, and Molly did not even take a shower. So this is her natural beauty. That's how beautiful she is.
And I'm going to try to look at the camera and not my sister.
Right. We got a few questions online. And how do you deal with 1 bathroom and 5 people?
So I have 3 relatively young boys, 11, 9, and 6. So the whole getting ready thing, that aspect of the bathroom is very easy. They shower at night and they go boom, boom, boom. Although my 11-year-old is getting to the stage where he takes all his clothes in the bathroom and he wants to do his hair and deodorant and brush floss and mouthwash. So he takes a little bit of time. But the tricky part, has been some moments where a few of us might need the bathroom at the same time. And we're trying to rush the person that's in the bathroom. Now, most RV parks have restrooms that you can use, so in a dire emergency, there's that option. But 1 teeny tiny bathroom can prove difficult, but a family of 5 can do it. If you have a larger family, you go with a 5th wheel and you can get a bathroom and a half, so you have 2 restrooms. But the bathroom is small, only 1 person at a time.
Yes.
So if I'm getting ready and someone needs to go to the bathroom, I get kicked out.
Yeah, it for sure is small. Okay, question number 2 from Linny and Stru, S-T-R-U.
From Instagram?
Yeah. Do you ever lose it? Holy crap, this place is too small. That was her question.
There have been moments where I will kick the kids outside. I'm like, you have to go play. 30 minutes outside, nice weather, I don't care what you do. Just take your little brothers and go. They have remote control cars and scooters. So my oldest is usually in charge. And if they can stay right around the RV, it's fine. We also have walkie-talkies. So if the RV park does have a park that's not too far for them to walk to, then I'll give them a walkie-talkie and I'll keep one and they'll do that. It's more the stuff. I'm a little OCD about clutter and organization. And so it's when everyone has something out and they're not always good about putting it up, then I get a little bit yeah, it does feel small. But everything does have a place, and I think that's key. And my boys are usually pretty good about, we call it return and ready. So they know that after they play with something, after they eat, whatever it is, they have to put the stuff up. So that helps me be a little bit more chill while the mess is happening, because I know that it will get put up. My husband, on the other hand, has a little bit harder time with the return and ready concept, but he pays the bills, so we kind of let that slide sometimes. Not all the time.
Okay, next question from Michelle. These next 3 questions are from your friend Michelle. Where do you send your mail?
So our mail we did our forwarding address to my husband's office space. My little sister gets some of our mail at her apartment, and then my older sister gets a lot of packages.
That's me. I'm the older one.
But I do compensate her with treats and lunches.
Yes, she does.
So, and Christmas time was just a little extra crazy. So,
maybe you should talk about how you felt when you came back after 2
for
months.
like the last 2 to 3
That's
months.
an interesting question.
I shipped all our packages. So I had to order the boys a few clothes. I had a few necessities. I had a few wants. Like Sephora had a sale. So I was stocked up on a few things that I knew I could have space for. And then Christmas stuff. And so this is like 2.5 months worth of accumulated packages sent to my sister. And when I got them all, and she and the rest of my family had opened the majority of the packages. So I only had a few boxes.
Condensed them
and
on
condensed
Thanksgiving.
them. And I only had a few to open. But when I saw all the stuff, I was like, let's just ship it all back. It was not fun to go through. Because it was just so much all at once. And
you seriously said, I don't
remember what I ordered. But once I went through it, I did need some of it. And I still wanted to keep the stuff I didn't need. I did return a few things. But a lot of it was Christmas. And we didn't really order hardly anything big for Christmas. It was just a bunch of like little things that added up. But I had to load that in my car, drive it to the RV, and unload it, and figure out where to put it. And that was like 2 hours process, like shifting things
because
around.
it was probably several big boxes.
Well, and Amazon ships
with
like
tons of things.
One little thing.
Well, yeah, but we filled several big boxes with tons of little things.
And
so it was a lot.
I figured I didn't have anywhere to hide stuff, so they're just. I kept them in the box, and my kids are good, so they haven't gone through it. So hopefully that's the case. But mail goes to 3 different places. Probably not the best way to do it, but that's how we do it. We've shipped stuff to RV parks, and Amazon with Prime. Even if we're there for a week and we need something, we'll have it shipped there. It's just the last few RV parks. Some of them
are sketchy.
Just don't have like a huge front. Like the one we stayed in Cape Ann campsite, just right outside of Salem, Massachusetts. They were at the end of their season, and they're just didn't, like, our Amazon packages got shipped and got left outside the front office, so we just picked them up. But there was hardly anybody there, so. But yeah, most of the time you can ship straight to the RV park.
But you'd rather send it to me and have it be safe, unless you need it right off.
Right, unless I need it right away.
Okay, Michelle also asked, what do you love most about your RV adventure so far?
Traveling, because we do love to travel, and so it has taken us places that we probably would not have road tripped or even flown to with all 3 of our kids, because it's just logistically and financially it wouldn't make sense. So we've literally gone coast to coast over the last 6 months. And we'll slow down a bit, but I think seeing and experiencing the new places and doing the history with my boys, so we can learn about the Statue of Liberty, the Brooklyn Bridge, Ellis Island, and we go see these places. We learned about the Salem witch trials, and then we went to Salem, Massachusetts. So I think that's one of the parts I enjoy the most, is getting to travel to places that we probably wouldn't go to.
And off of her question, I will ask you what has been like your favorite memory, like your one favorite thing from your travels so far, which has only been about, what, 7 months you've been traveling?
There's a lot, but I think what was a fun new thing to experience with Matt and the boys was New York City and the subway system, because we're not from the city. I had gone to New York City one time before that, and so it was just a whole new world, and to do it with 3 kids, the subway is an interesting place, and just leave it at that's dirty. But I think that was the most fun. We walked everywhere, and I think we only got on the wrong train like once or twice. So.
That's good. That's good. Okay, so the subway has been your favorite part?
I just think that there's lots of cool.
No, I know, navigating something hard.
Navigating
with
something
your
hard with my family. It's new, and it was new to almost all of us. And just seeing my boys, see a city. Like,
Yeah.
we've been to cool, like, we'd already been to, like, places in Colorado and Utah, like, outdoor stuff. Now, that was still fun, and Mount Evans in Colorado was amazing. But I think to see them kind of gain their confidence with the subway, like, my oldest, you know, trying to figure out, okay, what stops do we get out, and make sure we get out at the right stop, and make sure we have everything. And
Tyler would be in charge of that.
yeah, that was Tyler. So it was fun to experience something that foreign and new to us and do it all together.
Yeah, I can understand that. A bonding experience for
Yes.
sure. Isn't that kind of funny though, when you go and spend so much money on certain other things, but you do something hard like that?
Yes.
That hardly costs any money. And that's
Yeah.
one of like your best memories because you navigated something hard together.
Yes, and it wasn't always fun. And
Right.
We hit the city hard. We stayed out late. We did a lot of subway rides.
Yeah, I can't wait for your New York videos.
So,
I'm sure everyone else can either. Matt?
honey.
Okay. If we do realize Matt is trying to work,
He does run a company.
run a company at the same time, yes. That's
So.
why I've suggested Molly possibly learning to edit these videos.
But we're on Christmas break. Well, sort of, he is.
Just my
So.
suggestion. Okay. What has been your hardest part for Michelle?
Well, I think I had the hardest part in general, transitioning to the RV life. My boys have done fairly well. I mean, they have had moments, but for the most part, they don't. My middle son, Benjamin, probably talks the most about getting a home and having a backyard. So he, I think, is looking forward to that. But other than that, they miss their cousins and friends, and we'll say that on occasion. But they've done really well. And my husband, well, he does well wherever. It's kind of annoying sometimes because he never seems to have a hard time. But I think even the transition for him, trying to figure out how to run his company and travel so much, and he's the one that drives exclusively now. So that was tricky. And I think I had the hardest part. We went into it short term traveling. We weren't doing it for a year or two. We're not minimalists. We didn't want to downsize. We didn't need to do it for financial reasons. We did it because we were building a house and we had a few months where we were going to be without a home. So I always wanted to own an Airstream. So I thought, well, let's do it. Why not? Why we don't have any responsibilities tied to us like a mortgage. So we did that, and then we backed out of our home, and because it didn't feel right anymore. And so we did that, and we made that decision, and we felt good about that decision. But it was hard for me to let go of the dream that I had of what my fall and the holidays were going to look like. And I think the hardest part is when Matt travels and leaves us wherever we are, is when I have a hard time. Other than that, when he's with us and we're going to all these new places, I have a really fun time. The boys have fun. I do want a home one day, but that struggle's not there. When he leaves, I start feeling homesick for the familiar stuff. That's been the hardest.
Okay, and then talking about something else hard, one of my questions for you was talking about like different urgent cares you've had to experience on the road. So like you have accidents and you don't have a choice. You don't have your doctor there, your trusted dentist, and you're not even in necessarily a good town.
Now, luckily, we have not had any dental emergencies. I had dental emergencies before we left Dallas, and my dentist, Allen Dental Center,
Mm-hmm.
this is not sponsored, but they are the best dentists. So they were able to fit me in for a crown and a root canal before we left a few months ago, which was perfect.
Like last minute.
So no dental emergencies on the road so far, knock on wood. But we have had a slew of weird health things while we've been on the road. My oldest got pneumonia. Then he had an allergic reaction to his antibiotic, and my two younger ones got croup. And my middle son got ringworm. I blame it on the subway.
Yeah.
So that was weird. And then I shut the trunk on my face. So I had to go to an urgent care. So yeah, you just kind of, luckily, no super bad emergencies. Oh, Nick split his chin open. So we have had our share. So we just look up in urgent care and cross our fingers that it's not too scary. And it hasn't been for anything big, no hospital stays or visits. So we're good there. But it's not as nice to be on the road and need a doctor.
And you did say it was a little bit scary at the urgent care for your
El
nose
Paso
cut.
was a little sketchy.
That you would not have wanted to be stitched up there.
No, if he
By the
said
doctor
I
that was
needed
there.
stitches, I would have said, I'll pass. I did get a tetanus shot, so that was fine. I trusted him enough to give me that.
Talk about showers and really having to do like military showers.
No, so when we boondock, you really do need to do a super fast shower. You turn the water on, you soap up, you turn it off. But even when we are fully hooked up, the water pressure isn't great. The shower's tiny, and at some point you do run out of hot water. So they're just not fun. I shower out of necessity and not luxury, and there's obviously not a bathtub, which I desperately miss. But, so I won't tell you.
Is that what you miss the most, do you think?
My Tempur-Pedic bed, so king size, do miss the king size. And yes, I do miss my bathtub. There are very few material possessions that I miss, but bathtub would be on the top 5 list. And so I won't tell you how many times I shower a week. I will tell you there's the best deodorant by Donna Karan, women out there who sweat. It's worth every penny. Buy it at Sephora or Amazon. It's my favorite. And you can't tell if I have not showered, okay? You couldn't tell I ran 4 miles today, probably, unless I told you. So, yeah, showers are not luxurious anymore. They are just strictly to get clean. So,
What has been the worst mess?
the flooded bays.
Okay, do you want to tell anything
So,
about that?
Long story short, my husband was going out of town to Houston for an event for his company, and I was out for the morning with my boys at a nature preserve with my sister and her son that she homeschools. And my husband thought he would be helpful and empty the black tank before he left. So when we got home, I didn't have to do it. But the RV park was periodically shutting off their water for a leak that they had that they were trying to find. And so they would shut it off and on during the day, and then when everyone was home from work, they would have the water on. So when he went to stop, like plug the gray tank and we fill up our gray tank about 50% with water when we flush the black, just to flush out the line. And no one needed a shower, so he just went to turn the sink water on to let it fill up. And the water wasn't on. So he got sidetracked, and he actually left town with the sink in the on position and the gray tank still plugged up. And so I got home, and luckily it wasn't super flooded inside. It was all under the sink and on the counter, but all the bays on the passenger side were, I think there might have been 4 bays, inches of water. And it was awful. Let's just say I shed a lot of tears, and I had good friends that helped, but it was like a 3-hour cleanup, and it was pretty miserable.
With shop vac and lots of towels.
Yes, Walmart came to the rescue with cheap towels that I threw away. That sounds wasteful, but we have 20 towels soaking with water. You'd throw them in the dumpster.
And you live in an RV.
And a small shop vac, which I wanted to buy a small enough size so I could actually keep it, just in case. So that was horrible, and my husband wasn't there to help, so it was just me. So I don't want to relive that.
And just to say, you've had many other messes. So, and
Yes.
all just pretty much maybe causes of living in an RV.
Yes, not messes that probably typically would happen in a home.
Right.
Although they could.
And yes, so you've been through your fair share. Okay, so, okay, well, we've kind of already talked about this, but what do you think, like, your worst moment so far is? Or just the hardest moment? Like, is there one you can think of that was just terrible? Like, was it the bays?
The bays was terrible. The sugar in Estes Park
In the Airstream.
in Beauty. Those latches, I'm sorry, Airstream, but the latches on the model we bought did not hold. And maybe I put too much stuff in the cabinets, but they weren't reinforced well. And so driving through the mountains, twisty-turvy, we get into Estes Park at like 9 o'clock, and I'm thinking, great, we can set up, get the boys in bed by 10:30. And we open the door to Beauty, and there's sugar. The pantry door had fallen open, and a drawer had fallen open and broke off the track, and sugar had spilled everywhere, all over the floor, all over the drawer, and the plates and the bowls, in this tiny space. And my kids are tired, and I'm telling Matt, you have to keep them in the car until I contain it, because it's like sand. And that took about 2.5 hours. And so the boys didn't get in bed till like midnight.
See, because in a house, it's kind of easier if you spill something, even though that happens in the RV. Because you're not in that small space. So
Yeah.
you can be like, tell your kids, go out of the kitchen.
It seems like any
Well, I think
problem that happens in an RV is urgent. Like it needs your immediate attention.
Right, because it's such a small space. Okay, just a few more questions. So you have no dish in your RV or any satellite.
No, which I don't care.
Right. So you're fine with, and your kids are all fine, because just to tell people, like, so you guys use
We have Netflix. So our boys have some type of device, like an iPad or an iPhone, which I know not everyone will agree with, but that's what we do and what works for us. And we have unlimited internet. We started out, they didn't have internet and Wi-Fi, you never know, at the RV parks. Now we do have our own MiFi, I think it's called. I don't know. But you'll eat through your data if you're watching any type of video, like YouTube or Netflix. So they each have their own internet, and it's unlimited. And so that's probably not the cheapest way to go, but that's what works for us right now. So they watch that. And whenever we're parked in an RV park, we get the local cable station. So my husband can still watch his football.
And you just try to download movies and stuff
And
when you're with
iTunes.
Wi-Fi.
Yes. So certain, like my boys love Survivor Man and Little House. So I have bought seasons of that, and I'll download them when I have good Wi-Fi. And then a few cartoons, and we have lots of movies on iTunes. So.
Okay. And so, 2 more questions. That's it. Okay. So just to let people know, even though people might not think this, you have a brand new Class A.
Yes.
It was brand new.
Yes,
But
brand
you
new.
had lots of problems with it. So just because you buy a brand new RV,
Brand new RVs still equal lots of things falling apart. Actually, I think maybe if you buy one that's already been lived in, maybe they've worked out some of the kinks. But stuff can still always break. You're driving, you're home. So everything is shifting while you're driving down the road. So, yeah, new does not guarantee.
and you have to be ready for that,
Perfection.
because when we have someone to come fix something on our house, we don't have to leave our house. But like you guys had to stay in a hotel.
Right, we could have left the RV, left during the day, and they could park it in the parking lot with electric hookup, no sewer, and sleep in it at night. But since my husband was going to be gone that whole time, I felt more comfortable. We stayed in a hotel, which was fun change for the boys.
It was like a whole week. You don't want to stay like
But
out
yeah, it was a whole
every day with your boys.
As an
somewhere for a
adult,
whole
I
week.
think you could do it.
You could
if
stay out for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, but with 3 kids, I think that could be more expensive than staying at a hotel.
Yeah.
Trying to come. And we were in a small town, so we chose the hotel route. And it was a fun change for them. And so it worked out fine. And it only took a week. Sometimes it can take a lot longer to get stuff fixed on your RV, so we got lucky.
But you have to be prepared for that type of thing.
Yes.
Okay. And then people might wonder about this. Like, you generally just book all your appointments when you're in town.
Yeah, so when we come back to our hometown, I try to fit in any doctor's or dentist appointments that we needed.
And hair and...
Hair, yeah, pretty much anything. So if the boys need dental cleanings, I'll do that. If they need dental work, if they need well visits, I just boom, 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 boom. I book it all and try to fit it all in for the time slot that we're going to be in town, and it's usually at least a month, which helps. But most of the doctor offices and dental offices have been really helpful in trying to work with our schedule and all the other appointments we have going on. So, yeah, we try to get that all done when we're visiting Dallas. It's not always fun, but
you still have to live your real life.
Yes, you still have to figure out how to live real life while you're on the road.
Okay, and to end our thing, now if people have watched many of your other videos, they might know more, but y'all really haven't told a lot about this, so you're going to have longer videos about this, but a short snippet about, so you switched to the Class A because you were going to be more long-term.
Right, so we backed out of our house, and my middle son, Benjamin, had said from the get-go, why did we not buy one of those big ones?
Because Ben loves to not be restricted, like, to the back of the truck.
Right, they wanted something to move.
There's more room.
Right.
Even though you're buckled when you're driving, there's a ton of room.
So when we decided to back out of our home, we decided to entertain the idea of switching from an Airstream to a Class A or a Class C. And we did a lot of research, and we had certain criteria that had to be met. And we found the one that was going to work good for us. And so we, fortunately, were financially able to purchase the Class A without having sold our Airstream yet. And so we made the switch. And I don't want to sound like a traitor of the Airstreams. I still love Airstreams. We still actually own our Airstream. It's in the shop getting fixed from our blowout tire. But with not being a minimalist and still liking luxury, little luxuries and simple conveniences, the Class A move has been very good for our family. And it's been really nice for our boys to each have I call them their bed cubbies. They have their own space that they can decorate and keep their little knickknacks, the things that are important to them. And then if they need room from each other, they can go into their own bed. And so we decided to do that, and it was good. And I love the washer-dryer combo.
Yes.
Don't ever let a salesperson at an RV dealership try to talk you out of the combo. I only heard negative things about it, but it is the best invention ever. I think in my home, when I settle down, I want a washer, a dryer, and then a washer-dryer combo. Because you can put it to wash, and then you can leave, and when you come back, it's dry. Now it's smaller, you do smaller loads, but I don't care. It is the best invention. You have a kid throw up in the middle of the night, or my youngest is still young enough, he could have an accident, or you spill something. I mean, you sit in your bed so much as an extra place to sit that it's nice. It's nice to have a washer dryer.
That was a game changer for you.
It is. I do a load every day, and I stay on top of the laundry, and so I don't have to do a week's worth at once. I don't have to pay the money to go do it, and I don't have to fold a million articles of clothing in such a small space. I love it. It might not matter to some people.
And when you're in an RV, you go out for extended periods of time usually, because you're either traveling doing big things, or you're like in town and you come to my house for like the whole day.
Yes.
And that way, I mean, if you just leave your wet clothes there all day to switch over, then, I mean, your laundry's not going to be done when you get home.
No.
You have to switch it and stay up late.
Yeah, so if you have the option to get a washer and a dryer, I'd get 2 combo washer dryers, if that was possible. Because that would even be more of a game changer.
I wonder why they're not more popular in homes.
I don't know, because they're tiny. I guess people want...
They don't sell them bigger for houses?
I don't think so.
Interesting.
But I love mine. And if it ever breaks, we're going to fix it or replace it, because it's that important to me.
Yes. And thank you, Molly, for answering all our questions today. I thoroughly enjoyed following your journey as your sister. I myself would never choose to do this because my personality is different. But you handle everything really well in it.
Well, on the camera, I do.
Yeah. Well, I know you in real life.
Yes.
And I get several texts a day at least from wherever you are, and so I get the inside of all the adventures, and she handles everything really well. And so, anyway, if you want Streamin' Freedom to post more on their YouTube channel,
Okay, so let's take a vote.
Oh yeah, this is really what I was gonna say. Yes, I really want to know this.
So we can post like a current video.
They can start
We can
currently
start currently and then alternate. Like throw one in from
to
trying
catch up.
Get caught
Like
up.
do a current catch up.
Yeah.
But be showing what's happening in your life at this time currently.
Because we are very, very, very
You guys
behind.
are like
so
6
if
months
you
behind.
are still subscribed to us, thank you.
If you like the video, hit subscribe and hit the thumbs up button too. All thumbs down.
Thanks for the comment.